Yo, it's 28th of April today, and 2024. And this week we are going to look at what we have planned for us. So we got non-form protocol this week. So that means Monday and Tuesday will probably be days we'll be trading this week. We don't really want to trade the later days in this week due to unexpected price swings, and it might be choppy with the news that's coming out this week. Most likely Monday and Tuesday will be a good day to trade, and then Wednesday morning session will be fine, and Wednesday PM session onwards we don't really want to trade. So that's just the protocol that ICT sets for us, and we should stick to our rules, and stick to days with high probability. So going into this week on dollar, we're going to start off on the monthly. We have these highs resting up here. This is probably the draw on the liquidity for now. We still have a couple more days for the candle to close, but for a classic nice up candle, open, close, high. I'm tripping right now. Open, low, high, close, right? So we've already made the high most likely. However, I do see us closing a bit more to the upside, right? Because it's already crashed through this inefficiency right here in the monthly. So I do see it closing a bit higher, but all the overall draw is going to be these highs right here. Dropping into the weekly, we have, where have I gotten these from? So we have the first inefficiency right here. It drops down into it and expands higher, right? So this one is definitely an efficiency we want to keep a look at, and this one was, we wanted to see it been left open since we want to see higher prices, right? So we want this to be left open so we can see price expand higher without having to sit around in these gaps for too long, right? So if we see it tap into it and it just explode higher, we can have reason to believe that it wants to really go higher, right? That's just where price wants to get to. So, and obviously these highs right here are looking to be our targets for possibly the week or next week. So, but dollar overall does seem like it wants to go higher. For me to change my bias, I will have to see if this candle closes below this type of inefficiency, or in a daily inefficiency. You just have to wait for price to do what it wants to do, right? So, but for now we can believe it wants to go higher. Also on the daily, we've had price take out this low and this low right here, and it keeps taking those lows, and it's coming higher. And before it goes for higher prices, we have reason to believe it could tap back into this inefficiency or this order block, right? If there is a retracement. So Monday, Tuesday, we could go into it thinking it might want to tap into this order block or this inefficiency before exploding higher. So that's definitely a level we want to keep in mind. And of course, this inefficiency right here, we want to see left open due to our bullish bias, because if it does drop into it, then we're kind of in like that range and we don't really know where it's going to go. Let me have a look right here. This swing low to this swing low. Yeah, again, if it taps into it, it's going to be near equilibrium and we won't really have an idea of where it wants to go. So, as I said before, these highs are going to be the draw most likely. So, going into okay, moving on to ES. We have the monthly candle. So, really not much going on in here. Fully closed in efficiency, and we're just waiting to see where it wants to close in the next couple days. Whether it's going to close above or inside the fair value gap. We're just going to have a look in a couple days, but really not much going on there. Weekly, we are in the middle of this range right now. We just dropped back into equilibrium, like just barely, right? And so we don't really we're kind of neutral right now. We want to see what price wants to do, where it wants to go. So we're just going to sit back and wait for price to kind of do its thing. Possibly overnight in London or something before AM session, it'll go somewhere. So we just have to sit back and wait to really tell what it would want to do, what it would want to reach for. We don't want to just like start guessing and creating our own bias. Let price tell us what it wants to do. So we're in the middle of this range. It's kind of hard to tell, so we just gotta wait and see. There is a super tiny inefficiency in here, so I might want to reach into that, which it has, but it doesn't really mean anything right now. So we gotta wait for the morning session and see if it wants to reach into there and possibly drop off. So we're gonna wait and see, right? Dropping to the daily. Once again, it is in this equilibrium and is sitting in this fair value gap. I'm waiting to see if this wants to possibly close above it and then use it as an inverse, or maybe it wants to reach over to this order block right here or take out these highs. We really have to wait and see what it wants to do out of this inefficiency, because if it starts coming lower and closes below, then we have reason to believe, okay, maybe it's not bullish, right? With DXY going higher, we do want to see it kind of, I guess, bounce off that inefficiency, but price will tell us what it wants to do when the time comes, right? So we just got to wait and see. And dropping into the hourly, hourly. Let me delete this bit right here. Let me just go back to my notes real quick, actually. So overall this week, at the start of the week, this is just something for the journal and something to learn. But at the start of the week around here, right here, this is a new week opening gap right here. And around these prices, we had bearish prices, right? We believed that price was going to go lower. However, once the week went on, like there was a nice around here. This is the 9, 10 to 11 hour right here. There was a nice short here into the new week opening gap and past these lows right here. That was a really nice trade. But for the rest of the week, this is where you realize how price can change sometimes and your bias changes. This is how you adapt to the market and adapt to what price wants to do. Because here, the bias changed. It filled the new week opening gap and exploded higher. Order flow is showing it wants to go higher. So now, for the rest of the week, instead of trying to stick to your old bias and be stubborn, learn to adapt and realize when the market is reaching for new levels, So you can always have a bias and always have a goal for the week, but try and switch it up whenever you can. When you realize, okay, price doesn't want to go there anymore, what does it want to do? Always ask yourself what price wants to do. So there was these equal highs here, so I reached into that, took buy side, dropped back down, inefficiency here that were never filled, came back up, etc. Right? So it was very bullish on the hourly here. And let's just have a look over here. 1 second. Right, so what price might want to do here is come back. There's a gap right here, and there's a nice low right here. Once it comes into these lows, we want to see it displace higher, right? If that does happen, or it can just move higher, right? So again, as I said before, we do want to sit back and wait for what it wants to do instead of being hasty with it, right? There's no point of rushing into anything. We're trying to save capital rather than make more money, if that makes sense. How you become profitable is by saving your money. So choosing the days not to trade is also just as important as choosing the days to trade. So and yeah, I mean, S&P and NQ are relatively the same, to be honest. So I don't really need to go through NQ. However, that's gonna make up the weekly forecast for today. I hope that was some clarifying information for what I was. Honestly, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, but I hope that helped. And yeah, I'll see you guys possibly tomorrow in the Telegram. So peace out.